Top of the day to you, Nigerians, and wherever you're listening to me. I have run this thought through my mind, and I decided to come out and speak about it. First and foremost, I want to express my innermost appreciation to the members of the Nigerian police force for their sacrifice, diligence, and continued patriotism. But of course, we just have to speak about this particular cankerworm, the gross abuse of human rights from the Nigerian police force. It is like a keg of gunpowder, and it can explode anytime. A lot of people might have deceived those that are handling this country that Nigeria is a sensitive country, and if anything happened to Nigeria, it's going to affect the whole world. Reason why many of our leaders are not willing to do anything to make the country better, because they know that nobody is going to believe or accept the fact that Nigerians are going to rebel and react if they are being perpetually tortured economically. We need to speak about human rights, because without human rights, the society cannot really get better. And we have to also understand the fact that it is obvious majority of the Nigerian police officers, military, those that are meant to enforce the law, have little or no knowledge about human rights. And that is why we are seeing footages, terrible videos of abuse. These footages are enough to put anybody away from coming to invest in Nigeria or to travel to Nigeria. And that is why I am calling on all of us to let us look at it from this particular angle and see how we can better this country. Our patriotism doesn't mean we have to be silent in the face of tribulation, wickedness, torment, torture, and gross abuse of human rights. If human rights is taken away from a democracy or any democracy in the world, that democracy is useless. And that is why I just want to talk about this. First and foremost, how many Nigerians know that the police does not have the power to issue warrant of arrest? It is illegal for police officers to issue warrant of arrest without the consent and approval of a sitting judge. And now it becomes so terrible that any citizen can just write petition in a day, and the second day the police will rush to the house of the person being suspected and place the person under serious, forceful, and embarrassing arrest. This continuous behavior from the police is killing the peace and development in the society. The people are not respecting the police, they don't trust the police, and it is becoming a terrible and a cankerous situation in the society. And that is why we all have to see what we can do to ensure that democracy, particularly human rights, becomes a core pillar in this society. And I have to reiterate again, police does not have power to issue warrants of arrest. They can only effect warrant of arrest. The only time the police have right to arrest is when somebody is caught in the middle of a crime, an ongoing crime, like fighting on the road. Probably you're about to rape, you're about to commit act of terrorism, or you're trying to get involved in riots and things that would hamper the peace of the people. If the police understand what it means to police, they know that every individual have got daily activities that will bring food onto their table. Somebody who is law-abiding, who hasn't committed any crime, who is just being suspected, and perhaps might not even be the person that committed the crime, who perhaps also have a medical operation that morning, or have something very important to do in the family, and the police, under suspicion, just came around, forced the person, cuffed the person, and take the person away, as if a judge has actually ruled that the person should be picked anywhere he or she is found. It is not because we don't appreciate what the police are doing or the importance of police in the society, but the police in Nigeria should understand that the citizens they are meant to protect are not lower to them. They are not supposed to be treated like stench fists. This aggressive behavior from police officers are becoming unbearable. Police officers don't command respect, they want to command fear. And if we continue to raise a society where people will have terrible culture of silence and fear, we will continue to shut out leaders that will not want to contribute into the society but just be thinking about themselves. There must be equality, justice. And I want to appeal to the court, to the judiciary. It is time for our judges to start any criminal proceedings, even whatever, any proceedings brought to them, and ask the person being brought before them, first and foremost, how were you brought to the court? If you ask and the case file does not show proper arrest, if you do not approve the warrant of arrest, and the person is already seen illegally arrested, it is time for the police to change to the court to change the suit, detain the police officer, send the police officer to the prison, while perhaps the person brought is being bailed, and then they reset the case. It is time the police officer start paying for this illegality, so that we will reset the society. The court should be able to defend the last. They cannot bring somebody to you and you see the face swelling, you see the person limping, and the judge will not even ask what has happened to you, knowing fully well it is possible the person have been tortured in the police station or even battered at the point of arrest. We have to sanitize this country. We have to be patriotic. It is not the time to start keeping quiet. Every individual, no matter, we have to be less sentimental. It is not about, you don't have to play gender card. People need to start speaking up on things that are not right, because the more you keep quiet, if it is done to another person and you keep quiet, when it is done to you, somebody else will keep quiet. And that is the culture we have been living through, and that has been passed to generations, and we are about to pass to the next generation. No sense of duty of care, no sense of maintenance, no sense of civic responsibilities. We are not raised that way. We need to go back to the drawing board and get this country right. We don't have much time to spend on earth. The little time we want to spend, we need to contribute and make our country, our society better. If you are civilized, if you assume you are educated and you don't respect human rights, you don't understand human rights, you are far from being exposed and civilized. And that is why I'm making this clarion call. The police needs a lot of restructuring. Police education, police restructuring, proper gadgets. We need national emergency number. National emergency number alone will reduce the rate of armed robbery, kidnapping, domestic violence. Our women are not safe. A lot of men are being battered, beaten every day with impunity, and nobody is even there to rescue them. They don't have anywhere to run to in their own country because the police are not living to that reputation. Nobody. They can't call anybody. They can't. We need to restructure and make sure that the Nigerian police force will become a trustworthy parastatal. Our children should be able to respect the police. And that is why I am appealing to all of us. Let us do what we can do. The best revolution is that every soul, every individual should start talking about human rights, should start contributing to human rights, should start making their voices heard, should start making sure that human rights becomes a core pillar in the society in Nigeria. Then you realize that everything will start working well. Those with corruption will reduce, because with human rights protection, corruption will reduce drastically in all facets of our human life. Thank you, and God bless you.